Hello and welcome to the fifth installment of the interactive costing tool tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at site review of costings submitted by industry, and I will be playing the part here of an individual site reviewer. At this moment in time, the assumption is going to be that you already have yourself a CPMS login. This will be required for you to participate in this stage of the cost completion. So it's entirely necessary that either you have a personal login or you have a group login for your costing team. It's also assumed at this point that you have an email from the sponsor that confirms that a site cost has been or will be allocated to you. In order to see if you have been allocated it, you'll be able to log into the home screen of CPMS and to click on the Interactive Costing Tool tab on the left-hand side. This will give you all of the projects that have been assigned to you. So if we take the top study here, you can see that at a study level, you do not have sufficient permissions to edit the iCT details at the study level. That is simply because this has already been carried out as part of the validation step by your lead CRN. However, you may only edit the iCT details for a study organisation. So if we look down, you see that you are named as a site representative in the middle level, and within study organisations at the bottom, you will see the organisations for which you may have been named. Please only choose the organisation for which you are performing the costing. In this case, I've highlighted myself as being Barts Health NHS Trust, and I'll be able to view my site costs from clicking here. This takes me through to the main page. If the company has made any comments prior to it arriving with me, they will be appearing in this box or within this box. You can see that there are no comments at this stage, but there's one comment in Setup and Closedown. If we go into the main point of the study, you'll be able to see the individual visits against the individual activities, against the individual occurrences within those. Much like the old Excel version, you can also see the split out indirect cost, capacity building, and MFF values for your organisation. If you need further breakdown on what these individual items contain, you can either click on them to view them line by line, showing who's performing the service, how much time it takes. Or alternatively, you can click on the cost breakdown level, which gives you the information on whether it's a procedure or investigation, what department is carrying it out, the staff role of the individual carrying it out, or not applicable in the case of an investigation, time required for a staff member, and an activity cost, either calculated on the time or alternatively using a unit value from the intervention and investigation tariff. This also shows you total activity count for the study, total activity cost, the indirect, capacity building and MFF values, giving you a full per patient's site total here. This also occurs further down the table for those activities that are scheduled but will only occur for some participants, and for those activities which are additionally itemised and may or may not be occurring during the study. If there are particular issues in relation to your site that require items to be changed, this is easily done and can be done simply by either changing the number of occurrences within this box here, or alternatively from changing the details in relation to the staff type or the time required for the activity. Changing these items will create a flag that your industry partner will be able to see and will be able to comment on themselves, either accepting your changes or alternatively wishing to carry on the conversation with you as to why those items may or may not be negotiable. It's hoped that this conversation will exist between both the site and the industry representative, either over the phone or via email. As iCT is actually a live system, it does mean that both individuals, be they even continents apart, will still be able to look at the same costing on the same screen at the same time. There is no version control. If we return to the iCT summary here, we'll see there's a second box called Setup and Closedown. This maps exactly to the original Setup and Closedown that exists within the old industry costing template and contains items such as R&D fee, along with departmental setup and Closedown fees for a number of departments that may be used elsewhere within the template. Some departments, for example audiology at the top here, only have one individual setup fee. Some of them, such as pharmacy and radiology, have extended numbers of setup and Closedown fees that may relate to things such as CRE assessments, MPE assessments, phantom scanning, and the such like. All of these can be added in and will all ask you for a comment and also put a flag up so that industry knows that you've changed a figure within the costing tool. Once you have refined all of these details and are happy with the result, that will be the time to contact industry, who will be able to discuss with you which items are acceptable and which perhaps need to continue within negotiation. At any point, you can choose to export to Excel if it makes it easier to read having it within an Excel format, although you will not be able to re-import that Excel document back into iCT. So any changes you may change into that Excel document, you would need to then retype manually back into iCT. The other option that you may wish to investigate at this stage is what would this costing tool look like within a financial appendix. Both of these two items will be covered further in the 6th tutorial following this one. At this point, we're going to assume that you have a costing tool that you are happy with and that you are happy with the resource being sufficient in order for you to carry it out of your site. Please remember that the interactive costing tool is not a communication tool. It is built to be a costing template and a model in itself. So any correspondence in relation to what to do next should be held directly with the industry sponsor or the CRO in question. It will be their decision, as they own the contract at that point, to decide about adding financial appendix, although obviously all queries and amendments that have been made would need to be clarified before that could occur. And that concludes the 5th part of our interactive costing tool tutorial. Thank you.